So the Bolivian authorities are integrating stablecoins into the financial system. What happened? The Bolivian government will include cryptocurrencies and stablecoins in the national financial system to modernize it. That's what it's called. This was announced by the country's Minister of Economy, José Gabriel Espinosa. Why is this happening? Because inflation in Bolivia has exceeded 22% by this time. That's the official figure. In reality, it's even higher. And within the country, everyone has long been using USDT, including companies like Toyota, Yamaha, and BYD. They accept stablecoins from Tether to pay for cars because it's impossible to use the national currency. Prices have to be recalculated constantly. Even more than that, there's also a domestic energy company. So in March, this company, YPFB, announced a switch to cryptocurrency payments for importing energy resources because it's also impossible to accept payments in the national currency, and they have some issues with dollars as well, sanctions and all that. So they simply switched to USDT, opened accounts, and now accept everything that way. So there was also a comment from a Bitcoin analyst at Trezor. He said that the government calls the integration of stablecoins a modernization. This illustrates a familiar scenario. Officials first ban new technologies and then legalize them when mass adoption makes restrictions pointless. In other words, when the whole country switches to USDT, there's nothing you can really do because your own country is voting for it. And if everyone is using it, including officials who have long been keeping their funds in USDT and Bitcoin, well, everyone sees it. Everyone understands what's going on. So what's the point of banning it then? That's what you call a bottom-up revolution, when technology simply replaces things and the financial system always comes out on top. And this is happening all over the world. It's just more obvious and visible in countries where the internal financial system is weak and the national fiat currency is weak. Most likely, that's where this can happen. There. And in Turkey, they've had inflation for several years now. It's just getting higher and higher, and in other countries in Africa and so on. And then all of this, and there are a lot of people living there. So do you see how the balance works there? In other words, the countries are poor, but billions of people live there. Pakistan, India, and so on. That's where most of the adoption is coming from. That's why inevitably Bitcoin, stablecoins, all of this will take over our planet. So make use of it. You can accumulate Bitcoin using DCA. Type DCA and we'll send you all the instructions. And be sure to subscribe here.